We are in for an absolute thriller. Cue ball looked a little bit thin there. It sort of come down towards the corner pocket on this right-hand side rail. We'll get another look in a moment.
Yeah, I would guess much thinner than he really wanted there on the one. But really, he hasn't cut broke in a while out there on that arena. It's been a head-on break to end that Mario He match. Great camera view there. Has most of the pocket on the two, but I wouldn't call it easy.
It is another step up in distance. The races to 8 and 9 that we had at the start of the week. And the opposite sides of the draw, winners and losers, have gradually been increased. Now it takes 13 for victory.
It was never going to be easy. It's hard to call that a mistake. It's a half chance. Of course he's going to be disappointed.
Ouschan, as we've said, 32 today. Shane van Boening will be 40 next year. It's been right at the very top of the game for a decade and a half now.
Yeah, we talked about Ouschan, you know, struggling on the break, the dry breaks and whatnot, but I also saw some mistakes in that match. You know, that was a tough opening shot, right? But it wasn't all just the break in the semifinal, in my opinion.
No, I'm with you, JJ. I thought at times he looked a little bit flustered, and I think in the end it wasn't a case that he won the match. I feel like Mario lost it in the end, and I think Mario He will be absolutely sick.
Yeah, and he's fallen straight here, so the concern is he can't get much closer to the 5, which in turn will allow him to not get much closer to that 6-7 combination. But one thing I always say about this guy is if the ball's laid tough for both players, I don't think there's anyone better, and maybe in the history of pool, anyone better that does it than the guy at the table.
Get a piece of hair on it.
Yeah. Would you pause the shot clock, please?
Referee for this final, Dezislava Bojalova from Bulgaria.
JJ, you were wishing that clock was paused back in the Mosconi Cup.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe. I was thinking about that last night. As a matter of fact, I get reminded, but I don't know. Somehow, some way, I feel like I'm going to make up for it. I don't know when or where. It may just be a honeydew back home with my wife, but
you'll have to pick yourself for the team this year to reverse history.
Yeah, he may get into the 9 here a little bit. Yeah, I was wondering if he tried to come 2 or if he just draws it and takes the little contact on the 9.
So, Albin Ouschan with a half chance. Shane with a chance. Of course, it wasn't an easy shot, that.
No, the cue ball movement really sent the degree of difficulty way up the charts. A little more angle on the 5, I think. No problem, but he was a little flat. This is a very difficult situation. A little Efren Reyes in situations like this. I've seen him kick at this ball, even though he can see it.
Yeah, Albin's a very good kicker of the ball, and he's already looking at this.
Yeah, and the reason being the rest of the balls around the table just don't offer a great safety running the cue ball. Now he's going to draw into it.
Quite light hands, let that cue ball work off the rail.
He got robbed there.
Incredible how that didn't fall, but the tables have had a lot of play, and this is better. This is better for the game.
It doesn't feel like an opening rack, does it? With the tension and the twist we've already seen, it feels like something at a deeply advanced stage of the contest.
Yeah, that needs to slow down just a little. Doesn't want to fall too far behind this.
He's done well there. They can always be awkward when they're right in the jaws of the pocket.
Very interested to see how Shane attacks this opening break if he gets out here. Or his opening break, excuse me.
Has there been any kind of conversation leading up to this final after the semis?
Well, we talked a little bit, or we texted a little bit before the semis, and I think the main thing is just don't be stubborn with it. That's all. I mean, nothing wrong with giving it a few tries from one side or the other with the cut or the head-on. This is falling a little funny. You don't want to ease this ball, and being on the rail, if he goes all the way up and down, he's got to stay steady.
Shane may well be the greatest player I've ever witnessed at thin cuts, edges.
I'll tell you, into the side is where it's really impressive. If you see the back cuts into the side, him and Bustamante are the two I ever into the side for those thin cuts that I've ever seen.
Balls missed on both sides, but in the end, it's the world champion Shane Van Boening who takes the opener against Albin Ouschan. Players have been accumulating points throughout the year towards the first official points-based 9-ball world rankings at the end of the year. Van Boening will be #1 at the end of this tournament, and the live rankings, as we're calling them, whatever happens. And Joshua Filler will be #2. If Ouschan wins, he'll climb up to 3rd and won't be far behind Filler, with just a few tournaments left this year. Defeat for Ouschan would mean Francisco Sanchez Ruiz would stay ahead of him in 3rd.
Well, and what do you think this event, and there's those rankings and those scorings on the money one this year?
Yeah, $30,000 for the winner. So Albin Ouschan would virtually double his tally. That's just in ranking events, incidentally. Overall, Ouschan's prize money for the year will be around $100,000 if he wins this final. Now, big moment. How's SVB's break?
Good sign, JJ.
So,
oh, you say that.
how many of those cue balls have been lost today for SVB?
Ball in hand.
Went twice across, which we've seen one across, but twice across?
Yeah, and of course, before the cue ball, I was alluding to the 1 ball.
Just a face of frustration. And throughout his semi-final earlier today against Jose Alberto Delgado, it was such a struggle towards the end of the match. He just couldn't get a break that wasn't dry or scratched. And the trend continues right at the start of this final.
And you may wonder why Albin, with ball in hand, plays that 2-5 combination. Before, just a little tricky maybe to get back up table on the 5. Just kind of takes care of a little bit of work.
Albin Ouschan was bidding for a record-equaling 3rd world title, and he sustained that defeat to Shane Van Boening back in April. Just by getting that far, he'd become the first player even to get to the final on 4 occasions.
Little awkward bridging.
Scratch on the break gave Ouschan the sort of chance he would have dreamed of to open his account. And he's done that very swiftly. All tied up at 1 apiece. I know it resulted in a scratch, which I think we're going to see again here, Jeremy, but from a technical point of view, did you think this was sound? Was he doing anything differently here?
Probably just a little thicker hit on the one. I mean, that you're trying to miss the scratch one rail across. The two railer, if it happens, is not really something you're predicting or worried about happening again. He did like seeing the one go in, though. So when, and I'd hate to have to say if, but when he gets back to the breaking in, he's got to like a lot of what happened right there, right, Carl?
Yeah, I agree. Not had much luck. Well, I wouldn't say luck, but not really found that one ball in the side pocket much. And Albin will have spotted that as well. Let's not be silly.
Yeah, and that was still a forceful break, which is part of it here at the European Open. But I kind of saw Shane take a hair of speed off there.
Third rack. Albin Ouschan to break, 1 rack each.
Really heavy breathing there from Shane, trying to probably calm himself down just a little bit. You can be in these moments, and look at this, both of them back to back. Wow.
The new break format.
Power shot.
Maybe some of you are getting a bit bored of listening to us talking about that, but it has just come in for this event, and some of the things we are seeing, it is pretty special. It really is.
And I might consider a 1-6 combination, kind of a la what Albin did in the last rack. Look at the 5. The 5's in a funny spot by the 9. And you got to get back down for the 7 as well. I know the 1-6 is a little further away, but I might consider a 1-6 combo here.
So Shane got your message, JJ. 1-6 it is.
Oh, it skid a little bit of a kick.
It's been a bit of a white knuckle ride for Van Boening for a lot of this inaugural European Open. As early as his third match, the double elimination stage, he was really pushed by Janiuski. And over the weekend against Wojciech Szewczyk, Sanjin Pelovanovic, Mateusz Sniagotsky, all of them, to one degree or another, gave him some very serious questions. Jose Alberto Delgado was left to rue some early mistakes. Maybe 1 or 2 little bits of misfortune. Did threaten a late rally, but ended up going down 11-7. And it's very similar to what happened to him at the World Championships. So many close finishes there.
Well, one thing I expect, and I think we'll see with roughly 2 months till the U.S. Open, is you'll see a lot of motivated players coming into that event because they know with the new break format, they're going to get shots. They're going to get chances. I can't wait for the middle of October.
Yeah, and it's not something that is ever going to be figured out. Maybe consistently making the one, but with the cue ball flying around and the balls going all over, you're just simply going to see more pool.
Yeah, randomly racked. You know, the object ball's not put in any place there. For a while, we played with the 2 in the back, which I always thought was kind of a bad idea, and that's a compliment to the players. If you keep putting a ball in a certain place, they're going to figure out how to draw a position on it.
For me, though, JJ, as good as Shane breaks head on and controls that cue ball, I just feel like he'd get more success doing this. Take a chance on a random ball. You know the power he possesses on the break. Take a chance.
So another costly scratch on the break. Shane Van Boening once again leads by a single rack. It's 2-1 in the early stages of this European Open final in Fulda. Well, the break was no friend of
Rack
either
4,
Van Boening
Shane
or
Van
Ouschan in
Boening
their
to break.
semi-finals
Leading
earlier
2
today,
racks
and it's
to 1.
continued that way tonight. The last 2 racks both turning out the same way, scratch on the break. Player making it sits down, the other one mops up. So Van Boening 2-1 in front.
Took a little bit of pace off that.
He needs a kiss up top. Didn't get it, and these are dressed up. I don't think it'll be long before what you were talking about, Carl. SVB going to smashing them. And that's a little the problem, right? If you're not making the one in the side, it's coming cross corner and maybe giving up shots if you're not pocketing another ball.
I just feel with Shane's break, maybe he could start making the one ball in the top corner if he goes head on. That's how good he is. He could soon get dialed in with that break.
Yeah, I agree.
Albin Ouschan has lived perhaps even more dangerously than Shane Van Boening on his way to this final. And to a hill finish in the last 16 against Dennis Graba. The man from Estonia had the break, scratched on it, turned away from the table with a look of real frustration on his face, and Ouschan managed to get over the line. And of course it was a slog all the way against Mario He earlier. His fellow Austrian and multiple World Cup partner. Looked the winner most of the way, but from 9-7 down, Ouschan found something to win 4 in a row. He contributed to his own downfall in some respects.
Play a little draw stroke here, and the thing is, he'd like to pound it a little with the draw and come down the left side of the table, but Neufeld doesn't really agree with that as much. He may draw to the right side. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Good speed control there. So the opening 4 racks have been shared, and this is very nicely poised indeed.
Yeah, and none of them won by the breaking player, so it's 2-2. But this was what it was like early on in the World Final. It was neck and neck for a lot of the way, and from 6-5 down, Van Boening just raced away and didn't lose another rack, won 13-6, just seemed to get stronger and stronger. The winning line came clearer into view. And just fantastic to see this, as these two wonderful stars of the game battle it out here in Germany for this first ever European Open title. Look at the crowd we have here. And Fulda is by no means one of the major cities of Germany, and yet we've drawn them here in big numbers across the weekend. There is Ouschan's route. He actually played so well early on, that 9-4 win over Sander Kont. The youngster played so well, Ouschan hardly put a foot wrong. He didn't lose a rack in his next match. He'd only lost 8 by the time he got through his first 4 matches, but you're not going to keep going like that all the way through. He's come through his battles, and he's in another one here. 2-all.
Yeah, got a nice kiss down there in the corner. A couple nice kisses, actually. Got a nice shot on the one. Got to put a little power into it, though. Cue ball is some distance, and he doesn't have a whole lot of angle. Good thing is the 3's very handy, and the 5's over the pocket as well. He forced it across 2 rails here, probably. Huh, Carl?
Yeah, Albin likes that shot.
Albin has what I think is one of the best techniques. His backhand, if we ever get a look at it, and it's not every shot, but he kind of throws the cue a little bit, which I think is a great technique. The cue actually comes out of his hand and re-grabs it on the way through. Very unique and kind of sounds crazy, but stop shot maybe not, stun shot usually. And you saw it right there.
This 8-ball was always going to be Shane's hope. So this next shot from the purple to the brown 7 angle is needed.
And that's overrun a bit, huh, Carl?
Yeah, he was after the natural path, wasn't he? Maybe he has to get that cue ball moving a little now. Well, he's looking at the carrom. He's only having a look. I'm not saying he's going to play that. He's just weighing up all options.
Extension code.
Oh, he's so good at most any shot. I don't know if he wants to force it across. When you force it across with a small angle, you could easily lose the speed control. You see overcut to the pocket, and that's going to cost him a little more cue ball speed.
Where's the cue ball heading? Is it heading towards the side pocket? If it is, he's going to have to get some movement on the cue ball. That's why he's raising the cue. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's just okay.
I think he's swinging this. I think you have to.
A couple of things we've not seen yet in this final. Someone running out from the break. And Albin Ouschan leading. But we've seen them both now. Albin Ouschan hits the front for the first time at
3-2. Both very similar characters when they're not at the table. They look a little moody.
Yeah, a little bitter beer face there, right?
Albin Ouschan made a very good start to 2022. He won the Premier League title, which was effectively a successful defence because he'd won the Championship League at the same venue the year before, and the Premier League was effectively a remodelling of that. And then obviously he got to the World Final. It's all gone a bit quiet since then. He was sent over to the losers side at the UK Open by Karol Skwarski. And in the round before losers qualification, he lost 9-0 to Robbie Capito. These are some of the events we're talking about here. Lost his opening match at the World Masters to Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. A bit of a nightmare World Cup with Austria, beaten in the first round. He and Max Lechner only won one rack between them. So things have gone a bit quiet until this week. Here he is back in a big final again and leading.
Yeah, that list of names that we've just seen. The 4 guys who have won the majors, Filler with 2, and our 2 finalists with 1 apiece. And of course, Albin lost in the final of the World 9-ball, so it just shows you how strong these players are.
Well, we're seeing increasingly the depth in the game and players who are capable of coming along and causing upsets, but what you're saying, Carl, is absolutely right. When it comes to the big titles and getting to the big finals, it's generally the same few players, and it's no reflection of the depth in the game, just of how remarkably good these top players are.
Yeah, I was going to say a tough shot, and he had to gamble going into the 2 and the 6. Came away clean. Still a lot of work, though.
This is more than cuttable, though, right? You can thin snip this in, and chances are with the cue ball.
Yeah, I think he's got a, you know, Shane doesn't like the heavy, soft spin shot as much. He likes to stun the ball a little more, maybe.
Extension code.
You know, kind of move the ball sometimes with speed rather than spin. I think this is soft with a lot of left. He's taking a chance there, not addressing the left English, and I think he's gotten snookered.
Here comes the jump cue. SVB's going airborne. Should go close to the pot. Straight in the middle of the pocket, SVB.
And it's so wonderful in this setting when you see nice shots like that, that we've got a big crowd here to show their appreciation, adding to that big final atmosphere. Torsten Homan sitting there in the front row. We're in his hometown of Fulda, and he's done so much to promote this event.
And this rack is a little bit of what I was talking about earlier. When they start to lay tough, it almost energizes Shane, and what a host Thorsten Homan has been this week.
Well, after he went out of the tournament himself, he's stayed here for the whole weekend, shaking hands, taking photos, just generally keeping the good vibe and the buzz of the tournament going. He's so proud of it being here in his hometown, based in the States now, of course.
Yeah, he's a model professional, he's Thorsten.
But I don't know if you could see Shane's face right there. It's almost like a kid right there, just eager to get to the next shot. When he makes them big shots, it's like, I can't explain it, to be honest with you. It just kind of energizes him, like I said earlier.
Yeah, he likes running these balls where the table's tough. That's his message. I'll run the tough racks, you run the easy racks.
Just like the World Final, it's a nip and tuck start between these two greats of the game. Never been more than a rack in it either way so far. And that's still the case. Nothing between them. 3-all at the final in Fulda.
Okay. But how did you hear yourself? What are you talking? Okay. You know that was there today as well. It was there.
Shane Van Boning's breaking was the bedrock of his World Championship glory back in April. But it's literally a whole new ball game now with these different rules. He's been struggling all day, but he made it through his semi-final, and he's doing just fine in the final. Level at 3-all with the man he beat to win the world title, Albin Ouschan.
Rack 7, Shane Van Boning to break, 3 racks each.
So the unfolding intrigue of Van Boning's break continues here.
Stayed with the cup break.
That's amazing how consistent that was. When he's made the one in the side both times, he's gone 2 rails across and scratched in the side.
Well, he has been playing pool longer than most. He must never have seen anything like this in his life. The last 2 matches, incredible.
Yeah, I think he just answered that question of what you just said, a little shake of the head, like, what do I got to do to keep the cue ball on the table? Difficult 3-ball with the 2 hanging down here. That plays probably short side position.
5 scratches in the semi-finals, 2 in the final. In the finals, only 3-3. I think it's time for SVB to go down the middle. Albin's got to come with something here. These are the awkward racks we've been talking about. He's trying to break the balls out. A little bit unfortunate.
He's got a little room between the, I think he'll play this combination. Got a little room between the cue ball and the 3, hitting the brown 7 solid.
Yeah, the overhead tells everything. He's got more than enough room.
Extension
so
code.
maybe it's not as bad as I thought.
Looks to me it's got to be a light speed. Just draw the cue ball over, shooting that gap between the brown 7 and the purple 5.
Incidentally, I'll make that 10 racks in a row now. Van Boning on the break has either scratched or come up dry.
He's lost the cue ball. The gap JJ was talking about, he hasn't found. So Albin's going to be going airborne, and they're matching each other so far. SVB's nailed a jump shot. Now it's Albin's turn. And it was on the 3-ball.
Yeah, this one quite a bit easier than SVB. Should handle this. Could overrun position, but should knock it in. Wow.
Power shot.
What an angle he has found there.
Start
The
the clock,
things you
please.
see on a 9x5 pool table sometimes is mind-boggling. Just look at how this has found the side pocket.
Even when it starts off on its journey, it doesn't look to be heading for it. And look how quickly Van Boning is back to the table. So keen to capitalise.
Yeah, you could take that cue ball right from where the 3 was and try and shoot the cue ball in there with your cue stick, and you don't have to make that every time. And 9-ball pool is amazing.
Desi on fly watch. Have you got something going on with the next break, JJ? Is it time? He's got to do something.
Well, again, he made the 1, though, so that's the dilemma, Carl. He's not going to figure the 2-rail scratch is going to happen again. Now it's happened twice.
Van
Boning back in front. The nip and tuck nature of the start of this final continues. Van Boning 4-3 in front. But still an awfully long way to go. He does tend to let things fester in his head, Ouschan, and that's just the sort of thing that might bring that about, that scratch into the side pocket. I think he has become a bit better the last 12 to 18 months at controlling his emotions. Here it is again.
Even watching Shane, he didn't expect it. He had to see it go down before he jumps out of the chair.
Yeah, Albin will know that's just unfortunate, but there is a case for saying he put the cue ball there for the jump shot.
Back 8. Shane Van Boening to break. Leading 4 racks to 3.
I think I spotted Shane Wolford there in the audience. Possible Mosconi Cup player in the next couple of years for you, JJ.
No, absolutely. Okay, got more of like what Mario he was doing, getting that little kiss, and this one ball, if it slows down, is going to offer a shot. Shane in the crowd having a little fun.
So for the first time in 11 attempts, Van Boening has played a break shot that keeps him at the table. Last time he did it, on my reckoning, was when he was 3-2 up in his semi-final.
You'd get some good odds for that stat.
You'd never think of it happening.
This looks pretty nice. Going to stay off the rail with the cue ball. Also, not get too much angle, if any, as he wants to draw back to the center.
Very knowledgeable crowd. They will have known it's been a while since Shane has pocketed a ball off the break.
Yeah, that's pretty ideal there. He's just got to pinch it back a few inches. Play for a decent angle on the 7.
Across his semi-final and this final, Van Boning's won 15 racks today. Only one of them was by running out from the break. There's a chance to do it again here. And for the first time in this final, we're going to have a bit of daylight. Van Boening going 2 clear now at 5-3. So why did that break work when others haven't?
Well, obviously he had a little different cut on the 1. Probably a little more of what he used to use on the cut break when we played this similar format a few years ago. He would always go back into the rack like the last time he won his US Open, and I think it was 2016. Now the problem with that is you get kisses off balls that create scratches, and sometimes you get below the rack, which causes a lot of problems, but obviously better than scratching on the break.
Mentioned the US Open there. Shane Van Boening has won that, a record equaling 5 times. He's had a few goes at moving ahead of Earl Strickland with number 6. And that'll be a big narrative when we go to Atlantic City in 2 months' time. And if he could do that in a year when he's finally won his first world title, what a sensational 2022 that would have been. Will the European Open be on his CV for this year as well? He's going nicely at the moment.
Caught those a little heavier, and the one's coming around. If it doesn't fall, SVB might start to put something together.
Yeah, I think like you were saying, JJ, the cue ball at the end of the day, it's just going to be one of them things. The player breaking is always going to have a bit of a scare when it's flying around the table.
Yeah, it looks like he's got to kind of cheat the pocket a little bit. Oh, this one is laying up a little funny. Can he hit it thin enough to get by the 7 and get to the rail and get by the 7, Carl? Can he draw off of this?
Yeah, I think that's what he was first looking at, trying to find that gap, sneaking in between the blue and the green 6.
Yeah, paper thin, and we talked about how good he is at paper thin on the ball, right? Looks like he's going to draw it between the 9 and the 5 and then 1 rail up. And it looks perfect.
Put that on silent, please.
Well, the shot he's played there, by the way, he's made that look very easy.
And I'll tell you, as far as the U.S. Open's concerned, you know, Shane likes to, we all know what his favorite hobby is, of course. He loves to fish. But he's scheduled to where he's not going to have much time to fish before that U.S. Open, and that bodes well for him making a serious run at that 6th U.S. Open come the middle of October. When he plays these consecutive tournaments weeks after week after weeks, he's going to the Philippines for a few weeks for some matches. He's going to be tough.
Yeah, last one at 2016 beat Jason Shaw in the semis and then Chang Yong Lin in the final.
This could get a little funny. He's going to have to take a thinner cut on the 6 and work the cue ball maybe around the table. Can he get up into the middle of the table off this 5, Carl?
Yeah, I think he could roll it through and try and take it, but knowing Shane,
he may draw up to the end rail and swing it back down, right? That's the spot I was talking about right there. Maybe a little past that.
he's aiming low left, so he was drawing the cue ball. Well, how'd you like this one? A little close to the corner, but he has got into the area he wanted.
Well, I'm going to let him shoot this 6 ball and draw some nice shape on the 7, but he's kind of getting those crazy eyes, if you know Shane. He gets them to where they get very big, and when he gets those, he really doesn't miss much.
I feel like we're back in Milton Keynes on the night of the World Final, and you really saw that towards the finish there. As I said, from 6-5 down, he put together 8 in a row. Maybe he's making his move a little earlier on this occasion.
Yeah, and Albin will be sat in his chair thinking, oh, well, he broke and he had a shot on the 1, but that was not an easy rack. He's played 2 good shots in that rack, and that kind of gets unnoticed a little bit.
4 in a row for Shane Van Boening. He's almost halfway to victory already. It's 6-3 in the final. Shane Van Boening had won 15 racks across 2 matches today, but only run out from the break in one of them. He's now done it 2 racks in a row.
I was going to make a point of this before, JJ, when Shane scratched on the 2 breaks. I was wondering if there's a break where you can draw off this side and come high of the side pocket. That's just what he's done.
Yeah, like I said, we had something similar a few years ago. We played a few tournaments. It wasn't exactly like this. And we saw lots of different types of cut breaks. He's got a gamble here going around the table, right?
Yeah, he's got to come with a good one here. He's got to go around the world to get back for the 2. What do you see, JJ? Is there a shot?
Yeah, I think there's a path. The tight path is hard on the slick table. I thought he might try and swing around the 9, and then between is it the 7 and 8? He's going to try and come tight to the corner and wrap the corner hard and tight, and like I said, beat the 7, it looks like.
So he's going to go close to the scratch. Oh, he's caught the 9.
Yeah, I think he changed his mind and tried to go wide, actually, of the 9, and then 3 rails in between the 3-8. That made sense more anyways. And you really never scratch, right? The other shot, you could scratch. All right, little chip shot, 2 rail safety to about the first diamond.
Needs to keep going.
I think it's okay. May have left an edge.
Albin Ouschan will return to the table for the first time since he scratched in the 7th rack.
Yeah, and I don't like the jump cue here. I mean, a lot of players pull the jump cue quickly, but the angle is going towards the corner. If it doesn't hit this corner pocket with the cue ball, I don't see him getting back down table because of the 6. Now, if you're going to play some type of safety with the jump, maybe. I think he's kicking to the in rail. Can you see this, Carl?
Can't see it. It's definitely going off the rail with left English.
Well, the guy's just pretty smart at what the percentage play is.
Yeah, if you're thinking he's been a bit lucky there, that's why he's not gone crazy with that shot. He's played it at a good speed. You know there's 4 balls on the left side of the table. Good things can happen.
Yeah, I don't know if Shane can catch enough of the 2 to put the 2 on the in rail, come back into like the 7-9-ish, something like that, trying to use the 8. He may go offensive. And that's what I want to see
Extension
anyways.
code.
Yeah, I think he's got to go here. Is he hitting a high ball? If he's hitting a high ball, he's probably playing safe somehow.
Can he just nestle the cue ball back? And he's gone.
He was trying to go back behind him like a 2-way shot. And I think he, you know, your subconscious kind of takes over there. You want to get behind those balls, so it kind of makes you hit the 2 a little thicker because that helps the line of the cue ball. And excuse me there, Michael.
Another wonderful kick shot, this. Just not quite enough pace, but that's the shot he was playing.
Yeah, and I think you'll want to split these 2 kind of, right? I don't know. You might just go into the 3 right here, because if you split them, you could send the 3 up table a hair, and the 6 may cover up the pocket. So maybe just bump it a foot away here, the 3. Oh, he hit the 7. That was surprising to me.
This is turning out to be a big moment in this final. Albin needs something to happen, and he kind of needs it to come from Shane. He needs a little help. It's a little nervy one. You can make a mess of them if you're not quite feeling at the races.
Yeah, if you're nervous, it's the type of shot you may not get the 3 to the rail sometimes. I've done that, I know.
And you can add me to that list as well. And we know you're on the list as well, Michael, of course. You don't have to own up to that. We know you're there.
President of the list.
Foul shot. Ball in
Well,
hand.
you said it had turned into a big moment in the final. It certainly looks like one now.
Start the clock,
What a
please.
chance for Van Boening to go 4 clear. Again, it's starting to play out so similar to the final in Milton Keynes. So tight at the start, you're thinking he'll finish, and then suddenly Van Boening just started winning rack after rack.
And it's such a commonly missed kick on the slick table. The first rail takes a lot of English, but then the second rail really doesn't grab it much at all. Looks like he can go forward 2 rails out of the corner for the 8 in the side. Got plenty of angles, so he doesn't have to hit it very hard. He caught the 7 thick to the pocket.
Yeah, at the last minute, I thought maybe he might swing it round the table. I know he didn't put the 7 where he wanted. Well, we didn't see this one coming. Needs the 8 to slow down. He stuck this up. Albin would have been sat in his chair thinking he's 7-3 down. He's been gifted a rack here.
Yeah, I think it was just catching the 7 a little heavy to the pocket is what caused that problem.
So totally against all the expectations we had just about 90 seconds ago, Van Boening has been stopped in his tracks here. And Ouschan, having lost 4 in a
Albin
row,
Ouschan rack.
is back on the winning trail, closing to 2 behind at 6-4. 32 years of age today. One of the most famous misses in the history of all cue sports was when Jimmy White, in his 6th and last appearance in the World Snooker Final, was I think 7 balls away from winning and was miles off target with a routine black, and famously that was on his 32nd birthday. Ouschan will hope he doesn't have a similar bad memory to take away from the day today. But how do you explain that, Jeremy?
Well, if you see the 7, don't watch the cue ball. Watch how much the left side of the pocket as a viewer the 7 comes into. And that's what really caused the cue ball coming that close to not only a scratch, but catching the points on the corner. If he hits it clean to the middle, the cue ball gets to the bottom rail, escapes 2 rails out for the 8, and it's 7-3 most likely.
Mixed fortunes with the break so far.
Albin Ouschan to break.
Rack 5, he potted 3
Trailing by
balls
6
off the
racks
break
to
and
4.
ran out from there. But he's had a dry one and a scratch as well.
Needs the 2 ball to come clear, and it's not gonna, so a terrible situation. Even though the break was fairly successful, he's got way the worst of it here. He's got to roll out to a kick almost. I mean, we'll see. I don't think he rolls out to a jump that Shane won't take. The 2 rail kick from the backside, Carl, maybe?
Yeah, I was just having a little glance at that. Obviously the 9's in play. if you hit it bad, I mean, maybe the 5 balls in play, but it's an option.
That's what he's looking at right there, where he's placing his cue stick. That's more of the 2-rail kick.
Shout code.
Extension.
Extension code.
The 1-rail kick's not bad. You just don't have much room for error with it, that's all. Just such a clear side of the table there. I think that's what he's rolling out to. The 1-rail kick between the 6-9 to the short rail. May have to give this one up in this spot.
Back to Albin.
Yeah, would you always leave it on the rail?
No. I leave it on the rail if they're attacking the ball straight on some kind of way. That's pretty standard with a rollout situation. But if you're kicking and the guy doesn't like it, the rail's not going to make too much of a difference. You may slow roll this and bring it up on the 9, putting the 2 on the side rail. See you later.
Partial.
I think that's what he was trying to do. Just flick the 2 up on the side rail and coast up towards the 9 with
Start
the
the
cue ball.
clock, please.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with this one. Prides himself on this department of the game. Maybe just asking a little too much with the rollout.
Yeah, I think once I put myself there, I would have probably just tried to get the 2 ball to the top rail. You know, I know it's going to be open. I'm not going to get a snooker, but you know, live to fight another day, I guess.
It's already been a very lucrative year for Shane van Boening. Around about $100,000 in prize money. Could add another 30,000 tonight. He's won about $2 million in his whole career, and you know him very well, Jeremy. He doesn't strike me as someone who lives a particularly extravagant lifestyle. He's probably still got a lot of that money, but maybe you'll tell me otherwise.
Well, no, he's a smart man. He's invested. I mean, like I said, he spends a little on his fishing. He does like his fishing, so he's got a nice boat and been up there with him last year or a year before. I can't remember. 2 years ago, I think. He's a simple guy. Speed control off a little bit.
Yeah, even though you're thinking, why is SVB shaking his head? He doesn't want this type of shot. He wants more angle. So the 9 ball becomes easy. This is easy, but you miss these now and again.
Not in the sort of mood to miss them tonight. 7-4 now to Shane van Boening. 6 racks away from adding the European Open to his World Championship success early in the year. Just looking around this hall we're in tonight, gentlemen, you think back to the early days of Matchroom Pool events. Some of them were being played in shopping centres. I think there was a roller disco rink. You would never have imagined we'd be here in a setting like this in Germany for a big event for the first time with this crowd. A fantastic arena in this lovely hotel we've been so lucky to stay in all week. How far this game has come.
Yeah, and it's still in the early stages. I mean, I know what you're saying about the older venues, but this is what we need. We need more events all over the world, these big open events. 256 players started. The place is sold out in record time. We've seen some new talent here this week. Young players. We had 2 ladies playing the event. Pia Filler, Veronica.
Shane van Boening to break, leading 7-4.
Vanaskova from Germany.
Pia Filler, of course, played her husband Joshua, as you may or may not have heard, before we got to the TV stage. 7-4.
9 ball was moving as well.
Yeah, and even if he has a little look at the 2, I don't know if he can shoot at this. I think he's locked up, though. And it may be difficult to roll out. He may have to kick to be able to roll out here. And where do you even do that? say, would you test him here? Would you challenge him? Maybe smarter than trying to roll out to a lock-up safety.
I used to like that rollout. Rollout.
Challenge?
Yeah, roll out onto the rail and say, let me see you knock it in, because I'm going to knock it in.
Well, you got the guy at the table that thinks that way anyways. I've commented about him for years. He's the most unique rollout player I've ever seen. He rarely ties the ball up where most of us are trying to lengthen the game. He's just trying to say, I can do it better than you can.
Extension code.
I think there's a PhD to be written about the psychology behind the push out.
Yeah, and game of 9 ball, you know, it's the one time that you really think about your opponent's strengths and weaknesses. You know, otherwise you don't really change a whole lot. But the push out is definitely unique.
Even the rollout is just played, JJ, with a bit of right English coming off that rail to get back there. You'd have hooked yourself behind the 9, right?
Yeah, probably, maybe anyways.
And of course, we may well be seeing you in action soon, Jeremy. I know you're planning to play in the US Open, an event you won almost 20 years ago now.
Yeah, planning to play several rounds, I hope. I don't think Shane's going to back off.
Let's hope you get on the feature table. We'll give you a little bit of stick out there.
I bet you will. Can't believe Albin passed, to be honest with you. Well, he's made a smart move. Shane, it looks like he wasn't going to have position, but if he makes it, he gets into the purple 5.
Yeah, maybe Albin, the lack of table time, just didn't fancy it. So he's decided to say, carry on, Shane.
Well, I think we saw it in the Mario He match. It wasn't always pocketing a ball, but he
Extension
rolled out a
code.
couple times that I wouldn't even rolled out. I would have taken on the shot. Can he comfortably put him up on the purple 5 and move the 2 ball? Nice shot.
Yeah, good combination that under the pressure. 8-4 or 7-5 feels very big indeed.
You can't look past these 3 balls here grouped together. Uh-oh, wow. I think that one was going, but does the 6 pass the 7? That's the next possible problem. Guess you could play it off the 9 maybe, Carl?
Yeah, that overhead looks like you can flick it off the 9 ball.
Or just come across the short side position is what looks like the plan is.
It's funny how often this happens, you know, when a player has a really good chance to establish a big lead and passes it up needlessly, as Van Boening did when it could have been 7-3, and then that just seems to set the tone for a while. Just can't shake off the other player. That's how it's turning out here. Ouschan likely to get back to just 2 behind, and he's got such a history and such a reputation of big finishes in matches, finding his best in the business end of it, the last few racks. So if he can stay in touch, as he is at the moment, he'll still see himself as a very big contender in this final. Made a big call early in the rack, and it's gone in his favour in the end. It's turning into a very memorable night here. 7-5 to Shane Van Boening.
Fair to say, a final that's living up to
Track
expectations.
13, Albin Ouschan to break, trailing 7-5.
Is 13 going to be unlucky?
Yeah, he really has not got the better of it on the break. He's made balls, got a couple of scratches or one scratch, but then he's gotten snookered. Now a dry break at a crucial time. And has given up a play on the one, Carl.
Yeah, it looks a little weak. Maybe needs to try and find a bit more power on his next break.
Yeah, does he come down between the 9 and 8 here, or does he use inside to come between maybe the 2 and 9? Yeah, that's the natural route.
He's a full ball hit, though.
Needs some help is what he needs. I don't know if he got it or... Oh, okay, so that tells us he's like by the skin of my teeth, I guess. That's got to slow down, right? That was really struck. And I don't know if he's going to have a pocket.
Yeah, I mean,
that's like 2 feet, right? Too much?
At least 2 feet. Yeah, I mean, maybe more. It could have been way lower than that and just play off the one. Okay, little big moment coming up.
The one thing you don't expect from Shane van Boening is positional clumsiness. And that was undoubtedly clumsy.
Man, and does he have a pocket to attack? That's a pretty good place to put the object ball there. And that's the one thing now. Ouschan has had some great kick shots today, but on some what you would consider balls he's supposed to hit, he struggled. This is tough. The nine's a huge ball right there. Every time he's had to like aim high and put a lot of spin to create the line on the cue ball, that's been the one he struggled with today. And I think that's pretty similar here.
Yeah, this not got a lot of room for error here. This has to be bang on the money. How well has he done there, by the way? Everything else was taken out of the equation there. Fair enough, he didn't play to put the 2 balls there. But what he has done is he's made a good hit and he's kept himself in this rack.
In Q Sports, if you do good things happen for you.
And on the opposite end, when Shane made the positional error, even though he regrouped with a great safety, it kind of felt like things may go Ouschan's way. And here he's going to get a shot.
Not happy with that kick shot. Believe he was trying to find the top rail.
That was hit a bit heavy as well. He wanted not only a less angle on this ball, basically even being straight in really, but he planned on being a good 2 feet closer. And now all of a sudden this simple kind of few shots have gotten kind of tricky. And he's cueing over the 7 as well.
Amazing how a different camera angle gives you a different view of a shot. The overhead still looked dead easy, but now you can just see it's that type of shot where you had to roll it. Couldn't really hit it any harder. And luckily he was going to miss the 8 ball. This looks a little lively as well, so Albin's not out the woodwork just yet. He's going to come with something. Maybe he can just draw it back near the side.
Yeah, and I think he did get away with that. He wanted the cue ball to have a natural little flick of the 6 and just to roll into position on the 7.
Fighting hard in this rack. It was that kick shot. A little bit of fortune where it finished, but he made a good hit that's given this chance to try and claw the final back to just 1 rack. Big shot coming up, folks. Clearly wanted to miss the 9. Played for the 9 in the same pocket as the 8. This could well be the final right here, right now. If he misses this, does it cost him a couple of racks? If he makes it, he's just 1 behind.
Coolly done with the very lengthy cue. Well, Shane Van Boening is having a mid-match swoon. He was 7-4 up, now it's 7-6. In that rack alone, he committed 2 mistakes you don't normally see. 1 positional shot that was entirely uncharacteristic.
Yeah, you kind of feel like Albin's going to break and get a shot here to tie this match. At least that's what I feel.
I think he just needs to try and put a bit more power in the break, certainly than the previous break. You will have known that was not a good hit at all. And if the 1 ball's not going in the side pocket, make something else happen. You think he was trying to make it or send it to the top, JJ?
Yeah, just a little overamped, similar to the positional shot that he missed and got him into that scenario.
Rack 14, Albin Ouschan to break, trailing 6 racks to 7.
Can he draw level for the first time since 3-3?
That's okay. He was signalling a little bit of disgust after the break because he thought it was going to be dry, but the ball has made its way in. Big shot coming up. He's got to come down table for the blue 2.
Yeah, but really you want this natural angle. It's a little thin on the 1, of course, but makes it a hair missable. But I think overall he's very satisfied. Got to put a little right English on this to come straight down the table. It is a little thicker than I think. If he just puts straight top, he comes at the 9, I think.
How do you like the speed as well? Maybe you would put the cue ball there with your hand.
Great shot on the 1 to get perfect position. Should have no problem with a 3 and 4. Got to move the ball a little bit on the 5, but the real work from the 6 to the 8 to the 9. Looks like he's set up to follow this 1 rail back out to the center. Doubt he goes between the 6-9. That could cause a big problem. And this is where you don't look at the 8 as far as like there's a short side, right? I'd like to get back out to where I'm at now and just pull the ball a couple rails.
Yeah, he likes this shot. Swing it round over to the third rail.
Yeah, a lot of players look at the 8 and they say, oh, I want to shoot it to the what would be the left pocket, where natural position really offers going for the right pocket. We cut that a little bit, so this may get a little straighter. 6 hit the pocket a little thin. Okay, he's ideal now. You see how he shot the 8 there. You know, when he got on top of the 9 a moment ago, I mean, I love top inside kind of rolling your ball, but it's so easy to stun the ball up, right, when you're close to it.
There it is, parity. Albin Ouschan was at his lowest ebb, 6-3 adrift. Now it is all square and all to play for. Just thinking, you know, when he won the World 9-Ball Championship last year, this is where Ouschan, this is the portion of the match where Ouschan started to really fire against Omar Al-Shaheen. I wonder whether we're going to see a repeat here. Van Boening must be wondering, why was I so wasteful in rack 13? That's the one that will hurt him the most so far.
Yeah, and a lot of pool left. This is, of course, the final and our longest race to 13. And the break is tough, so you don't figure like, you know, someone to run 3 or 4 right here, right? But it could happen. They're starting to figure it out a bit.
Yeah, both players have now reached
Albin Ouschan to break 7 racks each.
over halfway to the magical number of 13. That was a bad break. Wow.
Yeah, I might go to the cameras to see if he hit the 1 first there. That was way thin. And I was going to comment about that. If you watch Ouschan break, he's very unique, at least at the pro level. He doesn't set the palm down on the felt for that 1,000 pounds underneath your hand and stability. You know, very rarely have I seen too many pros break the balls in that position with the bridge.
Yeah, I think he may be the only one. Certainly the only one in the top 32.
Well, the only one I ever remember that was a, you know, top player doing the same thing was Rudolfo Luat, which was much more before your time, Carl. But
hey, I remember him.
do you?
Yeah, when I first played IPT, he was on the scene. He played IPT.
Oh, he played great in the IPT.
Yeah. I don't remember his break, man.
Oh, yeah, he could crush him. But he was like I said, the only player that I really ever saw that was a top player to break the balls in that manner.
Crushing Shane Van Boening, just catching that middle pocket jaw, taking enough
Extension
pace
code.
off the cue ball to leave him hooked, although the jump shot is available, and we've already seen one magical jump on a 3-ball from him.
Scratch in the side. Well, it's a mistake. This is a mistake. Now it's Albin's chance to take the lead.
Extension code.
Cleared the 9-ball comfortably, but not in the right direction.
Hard to miss this one with the 5 there. Oh, my. Ooh, thought he did, even though. Now, how easy is the 5 lane, Carl? Can he shoot the 4 and try to bump the 7 maybe? I guess the 5's out a little bit, so maybe not. Guess he'll probably just draw back and play position on either the 6-7 or short side on the 6. Well, what do you do here? Because inside English doesn't grab as much on this table as like your club table, right? To try and really get it to go maybe between the 6-8 with the cue ball. He's just probably going to play the combo.
Yeah, I believe he'll play for the combo too. I've seen both players lose the cue ball going back up table. Okay. What did Albin play there?
Yeah, well, a lot of players would put him behind the 7, but I don't think that's Albin Ouschan in this spot. I think he's going to warp this bank in cross side.
The beeps on the shot clock added an extra degree of distraction, but it didn't stop Albin Ouschan from finding the pocket.
Didn't hold back. Absolutely fired the bank in.
Yeah, I've seen him do that a lot on the slick table. Got to kill the ball a little bit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ooh. We saw that pocket be pretty stingy on a 7 ball in the Mario Albin Ouschan match earlier. Thought it may have reared its teeth again.
This match has been so unpredictable. Nothing is a given, but the 9 ball should find the target surely. It was a no-doubter, and so for the first time, Albin Ouschan is in front since 3-2. The score now, 8-7, getting ever nearer this coveted European Open title. when Shane van Boening led 7-4. He started to think, the way he was playing, he could win maybe comfortably. We're not thinking that now, and not at all. He'll be happy to win in any fashion imaginable.
Rack 16, Albin Ouschan to break, leading 8-7.
Albin Ouschan has put together 4 consecutive racks. He's hungry for 5.
Where's the 1 ball? Where's the 1 ball?
Oh, and the 2 ball hanging. Things are changing a bit. Wasn't the best connection on the rack, but he can quickly forget about that with the shot on the 2.
Yeah, things have changed a little bit. This happened earlier on in the match. Albin had to sit and endure Shane running the balls out. Now Shane has got to do the same.
The slowest of rolls on the cue ball here, most likely. Oh no, he's going between them. 4 rails. I don't know about this. Man, that seemed like a lot of work. Ended up okay though. You think he was trying to go underneath the 4, or do you think he was trying to go to the side of the 4 there, Carl?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure he'll ever tell us,
Well, I won't ask.
Extension code.
He's got to be a little concerned about the 7. I don't think he wants to go past the 7 though, because he could fall straight in on the 4 and become a little problem. So probably wants the 2nd rail bounce a little above the 7. But he may get a bad ticky here. Oh, he's lucky to escape there. That a lot of times that 7 carries with the cue ball.
A couple of marginal rolls have gone his way in this rack already.
And looking back, it's a little harsh to say he got lucky. He just didn't get the unlucky side of things when you bump a ball. Got to make a clear-cut decision here, though, right? Because the cue ball is going to move away from the 6 a little bit. Maybe just a light speed, just barely 6-inch bounce off the rail. Oh, no, he came around for the gap.
And the gap he has found.
He has to elevate the cue here, it appears, unless he wants to cheat the pocket. He can handle a little distance on the 7.
So close in terms of balls potted. So close in terms of racks won. So close in ability.
When the cue ball went to the left there, I guess he just didn't want to follow the cue ball to the top rail and come back down. I mean, he did have a little angle.
Yeah, he's backing himself to knock the long ball in. And why wouldn't you? Hit it absolutely sweet.
It is 5 in a row for Albin Ouschan and a 2-rack gap. his first in the final. Can't help feeling, you know, in the last 16, he was so close to going out. It was hill with Dennis Grabber from Estonia. Grabber had just won the 18th rack. And then what happened? Grabber scratched on the break. Ouschan took advantage. Small things like that can lead to massive outcomes.
These were the shots that have gave Albin a 2-rack lead, and it's the end of the match, isn't it? It's coming to that point where all these racks are huge, and of course this is where he turns it on.
These are coming up to massive events in the States. Don't forget them, US Open Pool and Mosconi Cup, both here, of course, on Sky Sports.
Well, that's what I was talking about. The one ball's giving up shots because they're not pocketing it in the side, right? So if they're not getting a random ball, you know, you could turn the tides quickly if you could put a few together.
And now Van Boening quickly needs to recapture the form that took him to a 7-4 advantage.
Yeah, this is a good chance. Just needs to figure this first shot out. Purely by the speed.
Yeah, he just, unless he wants to kind of hit this light or maybe go at the 9 with the cue ball, I would like to go by the 9 and just accept a little cut on the 3. The 4's okay, the 5's near. He's playing it light. He may, okay, he did go by it.
It's quite heavy though. I
Yeah,
mean,
I like his chances here though. Even if he has to work the rock, I think he can come up the table. I wouldn't go 4 rails here. Nothing wrong with rolling this in and coming a little past the side pocket. He went 4 rails. Looks like pretty good control.
yeah, them shots there, they're very underrated. You can kind of forget about them. You just think all the balls are in the open and the rack's over, but it's shots like that. That's why these are in the final. These two, number 1 and 2 in the world.
Looks like he's going with top inside. Should gain the nice angle. Really nice not hitting the 8. Now it looks like the 7 only goes to the lower left. And we talk about the break and how it changes, you know, making balls, you know, if you're breaking and running 3 or 4 racks, you're really doing something. But the layouts, that's another part of it. It's not just pocketing a ball on the break. It's how many different layouts and how much more difficult the layouts become.
Doesn't want to be straight. Oh, it's nice there. Nice. Very nice.
Last time he stunned off this angle, he overran. Now I think he can hit this with a high right and just get to the rail. Should we spin it to 12-12? Just go on and get with it?
Well, that gets to the bar a little quicker, JJ.
If Jeremy said it's going to be 12-12, I'll take his word for it. Almost today called a golden break.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how it didn't fall, Phil.
So in the end, it's been a good rack from Shane.
Good rack indeed at just the right time as he reasserts his authority. Albin Ouschan, the only mistake he made, he broke dry, and if you do that in this company, you are in dangerous territory. Ouschan's lead, 9-8.
Yeah, and if you look at the previous rack, even though it was a great out from Albin, you know, the one just kind of dribbled in that upper corner pocket. It wasn't very convincing on the break, and then a dry break. So, you know, if we had the old rules and it was 9-8 Albin with Shane breaking, I'd like to bet on Shane. These rules, I don't know. What do you think, Carl?
I think it's just an even game. Things are a bit more even. Over the course of the season, maybe not in this match from now, but over the season.
Rack 18,
put it this way, JJ, if he was still on the circuit, you'd like this.
9-8.
Oh, this totally sets up for giving me a chance, I think, anyways. Okay, nothing down yet. 3-ball. And a nice shot.
I think it cuts, right? Does cut.
Oh, it cuts. I think the 5 plays by the 8 as well.
Might be a little thin one, though. I'm not saying it's super thin, but maybe
no,
it's
the
not
one's
as...
easy. I think the one's easy, Carl.
Okay, I'll take your word for that.
Yeah, just a little left English, not a whole lot. The problem I would have is if the 5 goes.
Well, I think the 5 goes, so we'll call it 1-1 in this rack.
We may go 2 rails up and down, but I doubt it. Yeah, it looked pretty simple. Now he's got to decide how he wants to play from the 4 to the 5. It's not really the type of shot you want to follow your ball off the 4. So he'll probably want to get somewhat heavy to where he can just draw over.
The camera angle showed us the 5 passes the 8. Did he come far enough?
I don't know. And if he's, yeah, even if he's actually a hair short, so he can go with top inside, it looks like. Just cheat the pocket a hair. Oh, he could cheat it the other way. What a match we have on our hands.
Yeah, Shane goes on to pop these remaining balls. The crowd are going to know 13 is looming. This is a tight one. They're going to get louder and louder. They want to see a close match.
Another shot, of course, earlier. I guess it's just something that rarely happens when he had to stun that ball and he overhit it. Similar shot here coming down the table.
He's got a little angle there, so he's okay. He can go forward if he pleases. Just landed on that angle, what looks a little weird when you're behind the shot. But
Yeah, I might simplify it here. I may not try to do much with the cue ball. Maybe pinch it back just an inch or 2, maybe. I don't see the point of trying to come back and getting straight in. I mean, you're going to fall towards the rail. Makes it very missable ball. Oh, that's Shane Van Boening.
Render the 9 as easy as possible.
how many players would have played it like that?
When an irresistible force meets an immovable object, something has got to give, but nothing is given yet. It's 9-9. folks.
Rack
It's
19, Shane Van Boening to break. 9 racks each.
a fantastic final in Fulda.
I didn't hear much drop, and I wouldn't say an easy starter on the one, but Albin's got to love it, really.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good here. I think that's not too bad at all, and you can just send the cue ball round. Maybe it's not quite there.
Yeah, is the 5 and the 6 really hampering running the cue ball? Is there ever a chance of, just because of the cue ball, a take on the cross side bank? Pros would always rather cut the ball than bank it, but sometimes circumstance changes things.
So far in this match, his banking has been tip-top.
Yeah, and he's got a little bit of an angle, but the problem with a little bit of an angle when you're stretched, a little harder to put the power into the ball, and it's really key he gets proper on the 3 to get across for the 4. The rest of the rack will open up. These next 2 shots are crucial. I ain't got a lot out of that, Carl.
Yeah, the angle looks nice. Can just float over. The pink 4 on the other side. 5 and the 6 are set good as well.
Oh, a little quick backswing there. Got a little quick with the transition. And I think he's fortunate that one fell. I mean, we know you can use the rail a little bit, but this ball wasn't the best stroke overall, and you could tell swung pretty firm to only get a little bit of cue ball travel.
Maybe he thought for a second he'd overcut that ball.
Well, that makes 2 of us.
Just being circumspect, cautious, taking everything into account. For the 4th time in the match, Albin Ouschan has a lead. Is he going to convert, or will Shane Van Boening come good when it matters most? Thing is, Ouschan's now in double digits. The dry break and then the dish from Ouschan. A couple of pots consecutively on 3 and 4 weren't the most convincing though, were they?
No, the 3 I really thought he had missed, just because pay attention to his fundamental a little bit, and the transition looked a little quick, and just the way the table's been playing, Carl, I thought the 3 was going to stand up.
Yeah, sometimes they stay up, sometimes they don't. One thing we do know is the break has been tricky. Not just in this match, in all the matches this week.
Rack 20, Albin Ouschan to break, leading 10-9.
Or like you said, I think a little more pace, but he's really got to get a little better hit on the 1, I think. And here's the 1 ball up for a shot. A lot of work out there, but a good chance for a 10-10 ball game.
Yeah, the 2 ball going over that corner pocket has helped Shane, because this is thin. Cue ball's going to be travelling, so that's good.
Yeah, and how do you slow the cue ball down, Carl? I mean, you don't want to like sacrifice the 1 doing something silly trying to kill the cue ball. Do you try to get into the 7 maybe? You take a chance there?
Just saw the stat. 5 dry breaks for Albin Ouschan. He had 7 dry breaks in the semi-final and still was okay.
He's done well there.
Yeah, and the camera sure fooled me. I thought the 1 was a bit thinner. Still, he made it look a little easier than it really was.
Yeah, that's okay. Comes away from the 6 ball and the 8, so sometimes you can land a little short and find yourself with awkward cueing.
Inspecting to see that the 4 passes the 9 into the same pocket as the 2 and the 3. Needs to stay off the rail with the cue ball. You can see if he dresses up good on the 5. 6 is near, 7, 8, not bad. Little draw stroke here maybe. Maybe a stun a little bit.
Maybe either or. I believe he's going stun. Sorry, JJ.
Oh, you're good. Wow.
A little close to the corner from SVB.
Absolutely, and it almost reminded me of the shot that I think kind of turned the match around early when he shot that, was it 7 ball and got caught up in the corner, got a little snookered on the 8.
Yeah, rack 10 when he was 6-3 ahead. He just broke and ran 2 consecutive racks. He looked mighty good, and then that total blunder.
Maybe a little thinner on the 8, but wants the cue ball clean.
Extension code.
And that's more about the type of shot he has here on the 8, more than the cue ball, you know, really needing it, I guess.
Yeah, you're coming across the face of the 8. Any thick contact would always throw it a little wide, so I don't blame him for getting it clean, and he's got it in the centre of the pocket. And this simple 9 ball for one of the greats. 20 racks played. We're all tied at 10-10.
When this final began, it was the best of 25 racks. Now it's been distilled down to the best of 5. The only advantage, Shane van Boening gets to break in rack 21.
Is it an advantage?
Marginal.
I'm just teasing. It's got to be an advantage. You're at the table, right?
Yeah, it absolutely is. We haven't seen it entirely today, but and who knows, today's maybe not the day to call it an advantage, but you're at least shooting first.
Yes, and the stat we have to tell everyone is that SVB has had 5 break and run outs in this match.
Yeah, well,
5.1.
you know, I
Shane
think,
Van Boening to break.
you know, if he sets a couple of mistakes aside, I wouldn't say runs away with this match, but gains a huge lead, I think. So he's definitely broke the balls the best between the two players, and looky here, they're just trading blows on this break, I'll tell you.
Didn't hit them good. I'm sure we'll get another look in a minute. Watch the cue ball.
And if you just watch from when he got down on the break, it seemed like he got into hitting the break a little quicker than is normal. Usually takes a couple more pre-strokes.
Just having a quick glance around the table. Shane's just looking at his break. There's TVs all around the arena, so he's just seeing what he did wrong on the break there.
That's decent. He's got to make a decision if he comes with outside English here. Tries to check the cue ball, or does he run it a little bit? I think just the top left English. Tries to get to the center of the table. See a pretty hairy 8-ball on the side rail near the side pocket. That could pose some problems later in the rack.
It's been very dry in Fulda this week, every single day. Lovely sunshine, temperatures around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, unbroken blue skies. So basically, dry, and that's been the operative word, dry. Just like this break.
It doesn't have a ton of angle here. It is enough, but he doesn't want to get too thin on the 7. He wants to come down the table a bit. Does he cross the line with the cue ball here, Carl? Play short side, maybe?
Maybe he's okay. Maybe he can. And that's what he's played.
And I like that shot. I mean, considering where he was. As long as he gets that nice little bounce off that 3rd rail, really hard to go wrong. Could have done a little better there. Should be okay. This is where you just kind of got to lightly come down the table with the cue ball. That way you don't get on top of the 9. Don't get much bounce.
Nicely done. Holding themselves together nicely as we approach the end of this final.
It is Ouschan's 11, but he needs 2 more to break the bank and get 1 foot on that plane to Las Vegas. It is the European
Track
Open.
22. Albin Ouschan to break, leading 11-10.
It is the final. And it is at the business end. Albin Ouschan breaking off, needing only 2 more racks to be crowned champion.
Changing sides here, Carl.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Lost the cue ball, though. 2 ball.
And look how the cue ball got banged around to a perfect shot on the 1.
Still slightly amazed after 22 breaks. No one's gone down the middle.
Yeah, especially Albin, because a couple reasons, really. When he has hit it how he's wanted, or at least I think how he's wanted, he really hasn't had a whole lot of results. And then 2 or 3 or 4 times like that one, he's caught the 1 awful thin as well. And he had a little success in a semifinal, changing to the head-on.
Did he get there, JJ?
I think he's okay. I think he knew a full contact on the purple was going to be all right.
After the semi-final, the referees was preparing the table for tonight's final, and he was checking the rack, and he asked me if I'd hit a couple of breaks just to make sure they were sitting nice. First 2 breaks, JJ. 1 ball in the side.
Wow. Might bring you out of retirement as well if you keep watching this go on and you can pocket the 1. You'd be the Stones to win the tournament, Carl.
I think I'd miss sitting next to you too much, though.
Jeremy, I saw him do that and I thought, he's bound to bring that up in commentary later on. He's bound to. I'm surprised it's taken him 22 racks.
Well, he's waiting until the climax.
It's all about the timing.
That's right. Now he's playing for the angle to draw the ball off the 5 back over towards the spot area. Just got to pay attention here. Pretty routine shot for these guys.
Extension code.
Key here is don't let the tip come up and somehow you just kind of drag the cue ball 1 rail behind the 7. It's pretty hard to do, really.
Yeah, and that ball was as good as the 9 ball, just because of where these 4 balls are sat.
Now, the one problem again with these guys on the break is the cut's been selling out a shot a lot, to where, you know, if you smash them right here, you may not make one, but, you know, maybe the 1 isn't dressed up over the pocket or giving up a shot. So big decisions here coming soon in rack number 23.
He spotted 101 balls and now he's confining rack 22 to room 101. And we continue on, blow for blow, thrust and counter thrust. The question is, that latest dry break from Albin Ouschan going to prove extremely expensive? In the semi-final and final combined, he's had 13 dry breaks. This is a rhetorical question. When was the last time he played consecutive matches with that many dry breaks?
It just doesn't exist in our, you know, the previous rules, and that's the big problem. Is I think probably you could say half of those he didn't hit him how he wanted, and before that was one of the big changes to this new format. Is before you could miss the rack a lot of times and the wing ball's still going, and I think that was a big problem with it. Now you have to really get on it.
Yeah, I made a video, JJ, a couple of weeks ago, just to show people and hope to get people who don't understand watching. Basically, the video was the old break. I was just hitting a one-handed, and it was all good. You can't hit these balls one-handed. We're seeing it right now. It's 11-11, SVB to break. Of course it's going to be dry. Why wouldn't it be dry? 2 balls tied up, though. We got action.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the 1 plays, actually. It may slide by the 3. Yeah, they need a corner man to just tell them to smash them.
Well, the 1 hit high on the point, so it's there, isn't it? It's tracking towards that, so maybe the players are just not hitting the break good enough to make the 1 in the side.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing the 1. Is he trying to hit it thin enough? He'd like to bury the cue ball here, but I don't see how that's happening. He's going to leave a pretty easy kick shot, I think.
Yeah, what a nice rack we have on our hands here.
Did he leave the 1? 11. I'm sorry, Carl. Well, obviously at 11-11, we don't know what's going to happen. But if it gets 12-12, no matter who breaks, I wonder if they make a big change at that moment. That's the type of shot I was talking about before in the side, and that one actually was kind of a hanger for him. Wow, how cold is that?
You can see a piece, JJ. It's okay.
Yeah, he's okay. Another shot that he is one of the best at is thinning the ball from long distance, because if you catch this 2 a little thick, it'll come up off the 8 and maybe give up a shot.
Extension code.
So even though he's got the 8 there to slow the 2 down, he still needs a nice hit on the 2 ball. It's going to get him elevated over the 7. This is going to be nasty.
Well, he may be able to see the right edge of the cue ball, and the 2 ball does cut. Tricky.
You may see him kick behind this if he doesn't want to go for the make, just to get the 2 back down in traffic near the 4 and the 9, something like that.
Extension code.
I don't see him hitting the left side of the 2 here, the way the cueing over the 7 is. I think he's going for the make. No, he's going off the left. Wow, what a hit. What a hit. Great shot, Albin.
Couldn't agree more. Absolutely fantastic shot there from Albin Ouschan.
Could be the most influential shot of the final.
And he's really made it to where it looks like the jump shot is really the play, just because there's not much 2 ball to really kick at. But really, where are you going with the jump? You trying to edge it and run the cue ball? Wow, look at this. He may get a little bit better. Touche.
Held his hand up, of course, but he did play the cue ball around that way.
Yeah, put his hand in the air, acknowledging his good fortune before the cue ball stopped.
Yeah, pool players, they know what's going to happen. He would have known halfway down the table the cue ball was going to roll there. There's a possible 4-9 combo on at some point. It's a good kick shot, JJ. That's the way he's played it.
Yeah, percentage play coming across it, making the cue ball and the 2 balls separate. Now Shane may have to gamble here and come at the 8 and the 4 with the cue ball. I have to get another look, but this isn't the type of shot you want to float the ball, right?
That's okay. You would have known that was possible, wouldn't he, JJ?
Yeah, for sure, actually. Few Filipino players are very crafty with that type of miss to where it hits the point, goes back to the top rail.
Both players have had a few shots now in this rack. No one's had a clean cut go at the rack. This is building up nicely. Is he thinning it again?
Doesn't look like it. He's tied up the 4-9 maybe.
Look how deep the 2-ball is.
Yeah. Shane's got to make a decision. How do you play this? I mean, he could easily trap himself some kind of way if he plays back down with the cue ball, like trying to really come back down. I think that was a smart shot. Don't try to get shape and then end up behind another ball, especially with the 4-9. Really no future, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Smart decision.
Well, if he had laid up on the rail, I bet he comes off the 3 and puts him on the back of the 4-9. But oh, nice shot. And right there, he just felt very confident in pocketing the 6. So he was hoping the 3 would develop to where he could do something a little more.
We're seeing everything here, fellas. We are seeing everything.
We wanted variety. We've got it.
Just a 1-rail kick at the 3-ball. He feels confident in hitting it. That's why he's not jumping at the ball.
Oh, he's moved them 2 balls, but he's tied them up a different route.
And got him elevated over the 9, so nothing easy. Shane really can't attack, and he's got nothing easy as a safety either. You run off the right side here, Carl?
Yeah, try and get it on the top rail, I believe. I don't think there's a double hit on. I think he's okay.
Yeah, and I wouldn't play the cue ball as much. I think I play more of the object ball here. The cue ball's a bonus. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, what a mistake that is. No, just a 4 past the 9.
I don't think so.
Start the clock, please.
Looks like it's locked up. To me, it looks locked up.
Won't be happy with that one, Ouschan. Poor cue ball.
Well, Albin doesn't look too concerned, so maybe that 4 does pass the 9.
Going into him.
Yeah, that's going to stick, right? Yeah, that's what it looked like. And a little unlucky. If he hits anything but completely full on the 4, he slides off the 4 one way or another and has a shot.
And this most disjointed, absorbing rack has new life.
He's got to get a rail with the cue ball, maybe. I don't know if he'll push the 4 all the way up. Oh, playing the slide shot. Well done.
Good shot. Very good shot indeed. Look at that.
As the 9 got him cut off the 2-rail kick, that could be a real problem. May have to dig on this cue ball here to get at this pink 4. Little low right English. Gotta elevate the back end a bit.
It's making Albin come with a shot at least. But this is a chance to get on the hill first.
This is Albin. Van Boening will be fearing the worst. He will think he'll nail this.
In the heart of the pocket. Both players have had visits in this rack. It was the safety from Albin, the great safety as well, that's carved this opportunity.
Yeah, and one thing I see whenever I look at both of these players is how much more work and effort, not only physically but mentally. And it, again, goes right back to a few changes in the game that have been made for this European Open, and I just love it. A lot more taxing, huh, Carl?
It's mentally demanding to play, of course it is, but it's terrific to watch. Austria is a country famous for its mountains. The leading pool player from that nation is now appropriately on the hill. One more rack needed, and Shane van Boening will be denied. I know that Jeremy was calling 12-12 well out, and he could be on the money, you know. He could be.
Yeah, regardless of if it goes hill-hill or not, this is as good as hill-hill. All you can ask for is a good, close final, and that is what both of these fellas have delivered. They really have. It's been enthralling.
Yeah, and they really, you know, we talked about the break. Of course, the break's been part of this match with so many dry breaks, some scratches, but they played beautifully, really, after the break. It's been a phenomenal match by both players.
Yeah, very evenly split, I would say.
Rack 24.
No glaring errors,
Albin Ouschan
really.
to break on the hill.
What's going to happen on this break?
He's going to the center. What did I say?
Wow.
Time to make a change.
He's chasing the 9. Whenever you break from the center, the 9 gets kicked quite a lot. Is it a golden break for the win? He's hit him good. He has hit him good. Was the 7?
He's okay. This is okay. Considering how the match has gone, if he's snookered, he's fine with this jump. And I don't even know if he's snookered. I don't think he is.
Clear path. Shane van Boening looking at the monitor for some kind of hope, for some kind of reason to be optimistic. There isn't a lot.
How well did he hit the break, by the way? That was his first head-on break in the match, and he hit it with a lot of control. This is the shot now. If he gets on this 3-ball good, the writing's on the wall for Shane.
Extension code.
He got a little funny off angle here, though. Doesn't have a ton to move it. Can't easily draw it back for the 3 on the side. He's got to go by the 6, I think. Easy to overcut this a hair. Caught the 6. This match is far from over, folks.
Can he still cut this in the side, though? I know it's thin. I know it is.
Not today, Carl. That's, I mean, don't get me wrong. It is doable. Mathematically, it is a playable cut. I think he'll shoot the 3-8 before he plays the cut.
Yeah, I was just going to say, can he smash it? into the 8.
Yeah, he went after a pretty dicey 1-8 combination against Mario He. He's cutting into the other pocket. He's overcut it.
Where's the cue ball finish, JJ?
He's going to catch the 7, maybe give up a shot. It doesn't matter if he's dead snookered. Shane's so happy to get out of his chair right now.
Will we see a bank shot up into the top corner?
Maybe. He might rip at that. I like that better than the swerve. Oh, he's going to try and put the 3 around the table, maybe?
Nah, he's playing the swerve. Well, he's looking.
Wow.
He's looking.
Extension code.
I wouldn't doubt he goes for the bank here. Elevates, just stabs down on it, try and draw the cue ball 1 rail towards the 5. Oh, he's hitting it with a high ball. Wow, how good is that?
Oh my word! What a cross bank! SVP under severe pressure, and he has delivered.
A tricky little shot here with the 7. Oh, that was pure.
Oh, wow. Can you believe that one?
That was arguably his biggest misfire of the entire match.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he didn't punch by the 6 there, Carl, instead of rolling it with a little inside. You know, he had a hair of an angle. Yeah, 1 shot away from really ending the match.
Well, I didn't see that one coming. He played the cross bank, he made it, but he has faltered at the final hurdle.
Wow, that's surprising he came up not, you know, Albin plays for a little angle there usually, and he's still okay.
This is where the heart is pumping. The thoughts are racing.
What a match this has been. It really has.
The 478th match of this terrific tournament in Fulda. You know, the world belongs to Shane Van Boening, but tonight, Europe, that is Albin Ouschan's territory. He's the inaugural European Open champion, and he's defeated the world 9-ball champion, reversed the result of the final in Milton Keynes in simply heroic fashion. Germany is the next door neighbour of Austria. And the boy from the man, or the man from the mountains, has peaked when he needed to. He won Premier League pool, didn't he, at the start of the year? Then he went quiet. The World Cup for him, well, that was very disappointing, but not the European Open. What a way to bounce back and do what he does best, get into the winner's circle. Of course, that means big implications on the 9-ball ranking. Yes, Shane